we have some nuggets about the salary cap. So earlier in the day,
Ooh.
yeah, here we go. Earlier in the day, Eric Engels was basically saying that he was told by Brad Treliving, GM of the Flames, that GMs were planning for a $1 million raise in the salary cap. Now, here's a pair of tweets from the man, the myth, the legend, Elliot Freeman. With GMs indicating they are expecting cap to only go up 1 million, Commissioner Gary Bettman leaves open the window for conversation with NHLPA to possibly raise it higher. Players negotiated a 6% escrow cap over the last 3 seasons of the current CBA. That's great for them. Probably a big stumbling block for the league. Now, obviously, for anyone who's not aware, a new head of the PA is coming in soon. Mr. Marty Walsh, no relation to Alan. Listen, we all know that if they are negotiating something, it's going to be a carrot to take away from the players. So this is what I'm going to tell people. If you guys disagree, go ahead. The cap's not going to go up more than $1 million. I don't. If that feels like Gary almost saying, "I'm leaving it open, and if it doesn't happen, it's on the players of Marty Walsh." I'm. If the GMs are planning for 1 million, then I will be anticipating $1 million in the cap going.
Okay. Daniel, I will let you go. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. There's already those proposals that we've had before of it's going to consistently go up. So it's just weird to me that it's just okay, yeah, like if this doesn't happen, it's not on Gary Bettman or anything, but it's more so like we looked at the market again and we saw that it was not as feasible. Or I don't know, like how long can we keep giving like the COVID excuse that because of the lost revenue, we're not going to be able to push and make this as feasible as we want in terms of increasing the cap. So I guess I'm being in the middle ground of let's wait and see, but I don't know. I didn't think that we were gonna see a huge jump from this.
Can I just say, if we have anything, okay, let me restart my sentence. Sorry. If we have a cap increase of only $1 million, that is an abject failure from the NHL and the PA, to be honest. Like, you cannot, again, Daniel, spot on. How long can you use the COVID excuse? You guys can figure this out. You guys are big boys. Like, you make the big bucks. Let's sit down at the table. It is in everyone's interest to have the cap go up by more than $1 million this year. It's just a fact. From the player side, you get some more money. From the business, from the NHL side, it's, hey, like, we can actually have our teams do things instead of we're asking for creativity 100% from general managers, but this is getting to a point that's beyond ridiculous. That we're praising teams for being a dollar below the salary cap. Do you know how insane that is? What other league works like this? What other league do you praise general managers and their assistants for being a dollar under the salary cap? Good job, Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin. You guys were just below the salary cap. Julian Brisebois, man, you're a legend because you were able to get a literal dollar under the salary cap. If I understand the situation that's going on, but if you cannot figure out a way to do this, the NHL and NHLPA should be sorely ashamed of themselves for allowing it to get to this. Because at the end of the day, like, there's no history of the NHLPA really in recent memory doing the right thing for their players. It's always last minute and hogwash. And from the NHL, it's always, how can we improve the value of our franchises with spending the least amount possible, being the cheapest league on earth? How can we do that? That's what is happening. So if it goes up by $1 million, it just confirms my suspicions.
And we're always going to keep seeing these same trades we've been seeing. Like, I think a big thing, and that's been the issue the last few seasons, is the Arizona Coyotes with the way they've been dealing with these contracts. And it's a trend I think we're going to see, especially when there's only $1 million potentially going up, because I think right now, just what would you want for the league? Remember before the other CBA, it's the 15-year contracts to circumvent the cap. And it led us to what we are seeing now with like a lot of the contracts the Coyotes got, is that there's these contracts that there's just so much money there. And GMs, I guess, are becoming very creative. I like the idea of the broker team, but it's just a weird thing. It's like it's no other league does this where they have to like pay draft picks to retain salary like that with another team to make the deal happen.
So 2 points here. First off, let's not forget, by the way, the whole thing of escrow and the players owing money and that's got to hold everything back. And by the way, never forget, guys, the NHL had record revenues last year. If anyone forgot about that. Also, talk about creativity and the thing of three-way trades. Let's also not forget one of the main points of conversation at the GM meetings was the complexity of doing three-way trades and how they needed to improve them.
I've never seen
the irony.
When they were talking about that 32 thoughts, I was legitimately dumbfounded. I'm like, yep. How about, I know this is like crazy. I know, and honestly, this is how I thought it happened. I know I might be crazy. I just imagined when they got on the trade call, all three GMs were involved. Not they do like I'm like, why are you guys making it more complicated than it needs to be? Am I missing something? Like,
I wonder if it's like, okay, so it's between the two initial, like let's say it was the trade, it's the Kane trade. So you've got Chicago, you've got New York, and you got Arizona. Is it first between the Rangers and Chicago? Then it's just Arizona's told, or is it the Rangers in Arizona? And then there's a third call with the Coyotes and Chicago. Like how many calls is this? Know. Like, where is the article? Like, okay, Pierre LeBrun, I need you to do something, my man.
Yeah.
Can we get the exact breakdown of how this works? Like,
yeah,
where's the common sense rule here?
Yeah, Pierre, I don't want to hear about that an executive doesn't like the Leafs goaltending. How about you just tell me how these damn three trades?
I don't think the Leafs like the Leafs goaltending.
Like, please.
Remember with this, Robert Leonard is a Leafs legend.
He is.
Because of the three-way trades.
The Ottawa Senators, from the commissioner, it's a matter of weeks until they are sold. Oh, and by the way, franchise value is going up. Sens might go for close to $1 billion. Great. But hey, Australia revenue escrow and whatnot.
Did he happen to talk about expansion? I'm really curious if someone.
I didn't see anything, but God help me if they go to Atlanta before Quebec City. I may never watch a hockey game ever again.
Can I be honest? Can we not do this? Let's not expand. Like enough. You're not. You're. How many teams are actually profitable in your league? Look at that first before you start adding
like
more
8
franchises. So Forbes used to include that in their valuations, but they've stopped a few years ago for whatever reason. Around COVID, they stopped. The last time they had it, yeah, you're right. There was like 8 teams who weren't profitable. How about let's fix the teams we currently have before we go on a spending spree, or before we go on a spending, before they start expanding again for no apparent reason. You're not you have almost a third of your league isn't profitable. Injecting $2 billion, because that's what it's going to be into expansion teams, into the league is not going to do anything. It's not going to fix anything.